Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harachakodash. The honor be to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be unto you, hopeful, like out the Bishnat, this word of thought, truth, and sincerity to all you Akamadu say Shalom. I'm the Akira. I'm coming in with a quick lesson on my entitled, the piercers shall be pierced, or something along those lines, going into how the wicked of our people, with the help of Esau, Edom, would pierce the prophets, and scourge them. But soon, they'll be pierced themselves by the coming judgments at hand, such as famine, death, and destruction, that destruction being by way of a thermonuclear fire which shall burn them and melt them away. Right, so to start it off, this is a book of Revelation, the first chapter, verse 7, and it doth read, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. Right, because Yahushua will come back with the host of heaven, the angels and chariots, and he'll be on the biggest chariot that you will not overlook it. Right, the whole sky's going to turn dark because he's going to cover it with this chariot. But the point reads, and they also which pierced him, which, proves reincarnation. So do many other scriptures, in this book. But the milk precept that comes to mind is the book of Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, verse 9, going into how there's no new thing under the sun. History repeats itself. Even spirits, man, they come back, in an ongoing cycle to carry out their judgment from the past life, right? So that's why it would make them mention how they wish pierced them, considering the fact that this happened 2,000 years ago, right? Those spirits didn't just, going to the grave and that's it. And there's new spirits being created, every single day? No. Hey, it's a recycling thing, reincarnation, right? And they which pierced them are going into those accountable for Yahushua's crucifixion, starting off with the religious leaders like the chief priests and scribes, and the rest underneath them, which were content enough to reject Yahushua as a Lord, and join on the parade, and offering him up to the crucifixion, right? And that's in the book of the Mark. That's in the book of Mark, the 15th chapter, verse 6, and it doth read, or really verse 9. But Pilate is an Edomite, and answered them, saying, Will you that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Because he's the King of the Jews, right? King of kings, Lord of lords. And very soon when he establishes his kingdom, he's going to be, our king, right? For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. But the chief priests moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas, a criminal, unto them. And Pilate answered and said again unto them, What will ye then that I shall do unto him whom ye called the King of the Jews? And they cried out again, Crucify him, right? Then Pilate said unto them, Why? What evil hath he done? And they cried out the more exceedingly, Crucify him, man. And I could already hear their voices, man. Literally weeping, yelling out with the top of their lungs, begging to crucify him. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them and delivered Yahushua when he had scourged them to be crucified, which goes to show you how even Esau had a part in this, and he would not go unpunished, right? And he had something to do with it, because remember, he was in authority. He had the power to reject, Jake's decision, but he was willing to content the people, man, right? And the soldiers led him away into the hall called the Praetorium, and they called the whole band together to torture him, right? Scourge him meaning to whip, mock him, placing that kind of thorns, right, all the way up to the crucifixion, man. So it was a terrible day that day, right? So I just want to bring that example out, how they pierced Yahushua, but now I want to get into how they pierced the prophets, underneath them. This is the book of Matthew, the 23rd chapter. It goes into the slaying of the prophets. And I'm going to start off at verse 29. It doth read, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets. And this is Yahushua speaking, by the way. Tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. And again, verse 29 reads, Woe unto you, meaning the destruction, right? And because it's like how, they built the tombs of the prophets, and killing them. Like they offered up Yahushua. The decision, they indirectly killed them through the decision, right? They would also, what's it called, during persecution, hunt Jake, right, with the help of the Romans, So death and destruction, right? So just like how you destroyed us, you shall be destroyed yourselves. But continuing on in verse 30, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. And that's one thing, what's it called, Jake would always do throughout history, right? Slay the prophets. This is the book of 2 Ezra, the first chapter, verse 32, and it reads, I sent unto you my servants the prophets, whom ye had taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hand, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? And that was, what's it called, a terrible thing that would happen to the prophets a lot. Right? That's why, what's it called, prophets, they felt burdened to be prophets, man. Right? And what's it called, very extreme hostility against the men of the Lord, right? The anointed ones. But one thing that comes to mind is that in 2 Samuel, the first chapter, you read about how David, had that one Amalekite who slew Saul, the anointed of Yahweh, because though he was wicked, he was really the Lord's anointed still, right? And that's why David would never kill him either. As much as he loved him too, which a lot of Jake loved him, right? That's why they fasted, those several days, even Samuel did. And that's why the Lord had to, correct him, told him to, not weep for him. But what happened was with the Amalekite, he slew Saul, which was his desire. He wanted to be killed. And when he made that news that he killed King Saul to David, David had his men, either him or his men kill him. Right? He ordered the execution on the Amalekite for killing the Lord's anointed. Right? So who are the Lord's anointed right now? The prophets, man. So just like how they slew the prophets, they're marked for the destruction, and they themselves, shall be executed, just like that Amalekite. All right, so going back to Matthew, the 23rd chapter. It reads, Wherefore, verse 31, Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which kill the prophets. Fill you up then the measure of your fathers. And in the NIV it reads, Go ahead then and complete what your ancestors started, right? Yahushua was encouraging them to continue their job. And that's what they wanted to do, begin with anyways, right? Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you my prophets, and wise men, and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city. And that was a fulfillment of prophecy, right? And that's going to happen again by way of this American persecution that will come against the prophets very soon. And Esau, what he does is he demonizes the prophets, and label them, falsely accuses them, labeling them extremists, things of that sort, which the only extreme thing we do is, cry aloud, sparing not, right? That's about it. Hey, because we're here to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. All those other Jake out there that be, talking about fucking revolution. Hey, those aren't the men of the Lord, man. Those are not the men of the Lord, right? Yahushua gave us a strict commandment: be harmless as doves. No, I'm saying it was Yahushua that made that mention: be harmless as doves and wise as serpents. That's our job to do, right? But going on, it says, I'm gonna jump down actually to verse 37. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is a title to refer to all Israel. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee. And one of the men of the Lord that they stoned was Stephen, right? Stephen, the deacon, and they stoned him, man. And as soon as them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and you would not? Which even this verse right here goes to show you how the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, because, going back to 2 Ezra, the first chapter, going up above, I believe it was in verse 29 or verse 30, it makes the mention how, as a hen I would gather my chickens, and you would not. Right? Yeah, I was shy. I got that from 2 Ezra. He made that mention. He was phrasing 2 Ezra, the first chapter. That goes to show you how the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures and supported right? By precepts like this. All right, next I want to get out the book of Proverbs, the 11th chapter, verse 21, and it reads, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, right? So no sin shall go unpunished. You know, whenever the argument always go into how the Lord's marked them, that's not a cliche, man, right? That's not a cliche, because, you know, it's going to happen. It's true. What's it called? So, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Yeah, very soon the Lord's going to deliver his men, right? And the Lord's going to, what's it called? Perfect them, right? Changing, it's like in the twinkling of an eye, they shall be changed, right? And very soon they're going to be able to, reparations, right? They're going to be able to avenge themselves very soon against Esau, Edom, and very soon, even on this side, the Lord's going to cast that spiritual power, upon his men to, begin at the Lord's sanctuary, which is, hey, you fucking Israelites, excuse my French, but you Israelites out there that would slay the prophets, man. Hey, you damn criminals, right? Salakia, for my my rude speech. But next piece that I want to get at will be in the book of Sirach, the 40th chapter, right? And it reads in verse 8, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold. More upon sinners death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. Those things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood, right? And very soon the Lord will flood the earth again, but not by way of water, but through the intercontinental ballistic destruction alongside the chariot lasers, which will burn this place down to smithereens. When you read about that, lake of fire, that's going into this place being flooded by way of fire, right? So again, these things are created for the wicked, right? Starting off with Esau, Edom, as he is the border of wickedness, Malachi, the 1st chapter, verse 4. But also the rest of the heathen, and the rest of the wicked Israelites, man, you 2/3, right? Offering up the Lord's men like that, piercing them, scourging them, and they will befall you very soon too, but very worse. And for their sakes came the flood. But with that being said, this lesson was edifying. To the next one, I do